Hey guys, Andrew here. I thought I'd take a second to come out to my garage with all of my bookshelves full of books that I keep next to my lambos, as you do. Anyway, I thought I'd take a second out of my super valuable day to bestow some of the information and secrets that I use to get this disgustingly wealthy and afford all of these books and lambos. I'll tell you the secrets to financial freedom, to making easy money online. You can trust me to... Oh shit. I'm sorry you had to see that. But if you've seen any of the thousands, possibly millions of ads and YouTube videos selling you the idea of passive income or financial freedom, there's a good chance that you've heard them recommend a few common strategies for achieving the, frankly, very reasonable goal of being able to support yourself and your family. Actually, let me be clear up front. This video is not intended to be a slight on anyone who wants to achieve that result. Providing for your family, yourself and your family is the sole thing we absolutely must do with our lives, and in the system that we have currently, that's pretty difficult for the vast majority of people. The people who sell you on this promise of an easy, effort-free way to achieve that goal are the predators preying on vulnerable people, so it isn't hard to see why you would like what you hear from them. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make money on the side. I found some success in doing that, and so the point of this video is to share what I've learned, hopefully arm you with some critical thinking skills to help, weed out those unscrupulous grifters, and to show you what I feel is the only real way to do this whole side hustle thing with any level of success. So, back to the topic at hand. The gurus will regularly sell you on ideas like dropshipping. Basically, you set up an e-commerce website and list hot-selling items from AliExpress on your site, with a considerable markup of course. Then when someone buys from your site, it just forwards their order to AliExpress, who ships the product, and you've made yourself some easy money. The problem here is that anyone can do this. In fact, they already are doing it. There are plugins for e-commerce sites set up to explicitly let you do this, which are being used by thousands of sites already. What are the chances that enough people are going to find your basic e-store site and buy the thing that they could find on 20 different dropshipping websites, or AliExpress for a tenth of the price? Well, pretty low. One of the other scams folding ideas highlights beautifully in his video, Entrepreneurs, the Mickelson Twins, which really dives deep into these sorts of grifts, and I seriously recommend watching, I'll leave it in the cards, is the idea that you pay a very underpaid writer a shockingly low fee to write some BS non-fiction book in a month, and then pay someone else a shockingly low amount of money to record reading said book, so that you can then list it as an Audible audiobook and rake in that sweet passive income. Except, who's gonna listen to a BS book about some random topic? And more importantly, how are they gonna find your BS book about some random topic over the tens of thousands of other BS books about random topics from other people looking to make an easy buck like you? For me, these schemes boil down to, would you pay for the thing you're selling? No, really, would you pay for a 2000% marked up plushie from a random website, or pay to listen to A Skeptic's Guide to Hypnosis? No, right? Well, why would anybody else? There's also a bit of a sanity check you can do on the people selling you these ideas. Surely if getting books written and narrated, or dropshipping products, or any of the other get-rich-easy ideas worked, the people who sell the courses on how to do it would just keep their mouths shut and be doing that 24/7, right? They'd be making bank. Why would they bother to spend time making a $4,000 course on how to do it, how to do the thing they're already doing?
unless the idea doesn't work, and they can make more money selling the courses, or even just making YouTube videos about it, than they can doing the thing they say makes the money. As Dan points out in his video, the Nicholson twins did do the whole use slave labor to write books thing, and only once that well had dried up did they make a course on how you can do it too. The key thing that I've come to understand is really just basic economics. If there is zero barrier to entry, as in there's no skill or cost involved in doing the thing, then you have infinite competition. Anyone else can start dropshipping or affiliate marketing, which makes your dropshipping site or content mill blog infinitely harder to find. Hell, that's what happened here on YouTube. Anyone can make a YouTube channel, but only a lucky few of us actually make any money from this thing, and even less of us make it big time. Sadly, I'm not part of that club, although this is my full-time gig, so I'm definitely lucky there. But the point is, the more people that are doing the same thing, the less chance there is that virtually anyone will make any money. It's a vicious feedback loop, because the people who do make a bit of money can use that money to expand their business, run more ads, which in turn helps them sell more products, which only crushes your chances even more. That's capitalism for you. There's a reason why I opened this video with a sketch that looked an awful lot like a Tai Lopez infomercial. Because back when I was 15, I was served one of those videos as an ad. It was pretty late at night, I was on my phone in bed, and he caught my attention enough to watch the whole 30-minute ad. Seriously. I then clicked the ad link and stayed up basically the rest of the night watching a 3-hour video that promised me that I would learn the 3 secrets in making passive income online with little to no money or effort. He'd tell me them any second now. Any second. Ah damn, he wants £1,000 for a DVD. Ah well. I don't have £1,000 to spend on a DVD. But he got me. The point is that I'm getting at here is that no one is immune to that kind of persuasive language. It's such a powerful idea, and especially in the place that I was at in the time, I needed something like that to lift me out of the position I was in. So I fell for it, hook, line and sinker. I don't think that I would have actually paid for the DVD even if I had the money, but I want to make it clear that it's okay to be lured in by such a tantalizing promise. You just have to realize that it isn't what it seems. And I think that brings us nicely onto the whole true way to make money thing, and to explain why I, a tech reviewer, am making what so far has been a non-tech related Griftbusters video. The way that you make money is to offer something of value. For regular employment, you exchange your time, skills, and labor for money. It's a pretty simple exchange. When selling a product, you have to be selling something that someone else values more than having the money in their bank account. And the case study here is my open source testing tools. I created these because I had a need for them, and no one else was selling them, or at least selling what I wanted. So I learned more about electronics and cleared out my cobwebs on the A-level electronics knowledge too. I learned about how to design circuit boards and how to get them made. I learned about how to write the firmware that the microcontrollers need to run all of the tests, and how to write the software that I needed to process all of the data that these generate. I learned how to solder everything together. I learned how to model these cases in Fusion 360 and 3D print them at home, at least to start with. I assembled them, and I started selling and shipping units worldwide. It's worth noting that a normal individual would hire at least some people to do some of the things that I just mentioned, but seeing as I'm very much on the spectrum and love making things, I did it all myself. The key thing to note though is that it took a lot of work. Like, it took me a year to go from, I'm gonna make a response time tester, to having OSRTT on sale. It took me another 6 months to redesign it into the Pro, the newer one that I still use in my reviews, and it took me something like a year to make the latency tool, and 5 PCB revisions. Oh. It took hundreds, actually probably thousands of hours of work to make the 3 tools that I have made, and I'm planning on making a color testing tool too, so that's probably another 6 months of work on the weekends and in the evenings. The point is that it's hard work, but I made something that people find valuable. Valuable enough that they want to buy them. Hell, Apple, yes, that Apple, is a repeat customer. AOC and Philips have bought something ridiculous like 8 tools in total. Like, seriously, what are they doing with them? And hundreds of people around the world are using them in their work, and I'm incredibly proud of that. And proud of all of the hard work and dedication that I put in to making these things a reality. I'm even getting the next OSRTT Pro design manufactured, at least all of the surface mount components. I'll still have to solder some of the, well, actually a couple of through-hole components here and then do the assembly and validation before shipping them. But that's a pretty big step. To set your expectations, you'll likely have to work pretty hard just to find enough information to gather all the knowledge you'll need to make your idea a reality. For the response time tool, I read PhD papers, the VESA spec, hundreds of reviews, and consulted with incredibly knowledgeable people like Simon from TFT Central and Tim from Hardware Unboxed. There isn't going to be one easy source of information, and there's going to be a lot of trial and error, both in making your product and actually running the business. A good 3 months of the year or so I spent making the first response time tool was testing. Testing the device, yeah, but also testing monitors to get a better understanding of what edge cases I could expect to need to deal with out in the wild. Then I'd write some code to try and handle that case and test it again. That's likely going to happen whether you're building an electronic device or running a pressure washing service. There's going to be a whole lot of trial and error and an awful lot of learning. The takeaway from these tools is, if you want to make money by starting your own business, you need to be selling something people think is worth paying for. Dropshipped crap or Avon lipstick isn't that. Find something that you're interested in and passionate about, and learn more about it to see if you can find a niche that isn't being filled, a problem that could do with being solved, and then make the solution. It isn't going to be as easy as just setting up a website and forgetting about it, but it's much more likely to give you some actual returns on your investment, and honestly, it's going to be a lot more rewarding too. Also, if you happen to want to see a video on how to make electronics like I have, let me know in the comments and I might get around to it. I've been trying to make various products for near on a decade at this point. Solar batteries, energy producing heat pumps, video games, a national technology show. I actually got pretty far with that one too. But it was only when I found an idea for something that I personally needed that I found any success. I needed a way to measure response times on monitors, and the idea of buying a £1,000 oscilloscope and a £500 photodiode and then doing every transition manually didn't sound all that appealing to me. So I made a tool that for 1/10 of the cost automates the whole thing. I figured that if you create something that you need, there's a good chance that there are other people like you who need it too. If you're just creating ideas for an imaginary target audience, it's really hard to pour your soul into making the thing only to find out that the target audience is non-existent. It's worth pointing out that this whole side hustle thing isn't going to be the right fit for everyone. I've been able to dedicate basically every waking hour to running my YouTube channels and locally links and making these open source tools. But that's because I don't have kids. I have an amazing wife who can pick up the slack for things like cooking and cleaning when I'm hyper-focusing on a programming problem, and I don't know the meaning of work-life balance. It's up to you to decide if you can take on the sort of time and energy commitment that running a business entails. I know that isn't probably what you want to hear, but I don't have a course to sell you, so I'm willing to be honest. In short then, the key thing that every other financial freedom, passive income, side hustle guru seems to ignore, you have to make something people are willing to pay you for. Whether that's a product or a service, you have to make something of value. That's it. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I know this is a bit of an unusual video for me. If you did like it, feel free to let me know by hitting the like button and in the comments. And of course, subscribing. I probably won't be doing too many more videos like this one exactly, but if you want to stay up to date on my open source testing tools or the other tech reviews that I more generally do, you can hit the subscribe button as well. There'll also be plenty of other videos on the end cards. If you do happen to be one of the people who want an open source latency or response time testing tool, they will be linked in the description. Not that I expect the majority of people who watch this video will want one, but they're there if you want one. And otherwise, that's kind of it. Thanks for watching, hope you have a great Christmas, and we'll see you all in the next video.